Hello and welcome back to step-by-step-guitar-tuition.com. This is the first lesson in the Step 4 module. In this lesson we're going to look at a new family of chords called dominant 7th chords. At this point in the step-by-step syllabus you should be confident with the 5 major chords A, C, D, E and G, and also the 3 minor chords A minor, D minor and E minor. If you can recall those chords from memory and change quickly from one chord to another in various progressions, then you're ready to move on. If not, I'd recommend going back and studying the first 3 steps again. In this lesson we won't be looking at any theory related to the chords, we'll just concentrate on learning the new chord shapes for now. What we're trying to do is gradually build up an extensive vocabulary of chords that you can recall quickly from memory, and with practice you'll be surprised at just how many chords it's possible to remember. Don't forget to refer to your lesson notes where you'll find the tablature for the chords, the chord diagram, images and other relevant information. Okay, now I'm going to take you through the 6 different dominant 7th chord shapes. A7, B7, C7, D7, E7 and G7. I should mention that although these chords are called dominant 7ths, when referring to them, the word dominant is usually left out. Let's start with A7. Firstly, form an A major chord and then simply take your second finger off so that the 3rd string is open and strum from the 5th string, the A string. Now let's try B7. Your first finger goes on the D string at the 1st fret. Your second finger goes on the A string at the 2nd fret, your 3rd finger goes on the G string at the 2nd, and your 4th finger goes on the top E string at the 2nd fret, and again you play it from the 5th string. To play C7, put a C major chord on, and then add your 4th finger to the G string at the 3rd fret, and again play from the 5th string. For D7, your first finger needs to go on the B string at the 1st fret, your second finger goes on the G string at the 2nd, and your 3rd finger goes on the top E string at the 2nd fret, and you play from the D string. For the E7 chord, play an E major shape and take your 3rd finger off, so that the 4th string, the D string, is open. As an alternative, you can also place your 4th finger on the 2nd string, the B string, at the 3rd fret. So that's another way of playing E7. And lastly, G7. Your first finger on the top string at the 1st fret, your second finger needs to go on the A string at the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on the low E string at the 3rd, and play all 6 strings. Or, as an alternative, if you play a normal G shape and move your 3rd finger from the B string, move it down to the D string, and that gives you another way of playing a G7 chord. And again, play all 6 strings. So that's all 6 dominant 7th chord shapes. Now let's add them to the major and minor chords that we learned in steps 1, 2 and 3 to make a chord drill like this. A, C, D, E, G. A minor, D minor, E minor. And then the 7ths, A7, B7, C7, D7, E7, or the alternative with your little finger, and G7, or the alternative. Also practice changing between those chords in random order till you're satisfied that you can recall them from memory. Later in this module I'll go through some chord progressions with you, mixing up all the chords that we've learnt so far. I look forward to seeing you in lesson 2, where we'll look at extending the scales that you learnt in the previous steps from 1 octave to 2 octaves. I'll see you then.